I told my mother not to outshine me at my own wedding.
Get your own wedding.
I, 26 female, am getting married later this year, and while weddings are supposed to be magical and all about the bride, there's one small problem. My mother, 49 female, is drop dang gorgeous and has the personality of a Bollywood hero on her third espresso. She's not evil, I swear. She's just accidentally fabulous. The kind of person who could wear a potato sack and still get compliments like, "You're glowing." Meanwhile, I'm standing there in Swarovski studded couture, giving discount bridesmaid out of budget wedding vibes in comparison. By the way, this comes from Gojo's wifey is 0712 on the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
And OP says, this isn't new. Growing up, I was constantly in her shadow. People would meet her and then look at me like I'd been adopted from a slightly less glamorous family across the street. I've had relatives ask if I was the help or if I was the neighbor's kid tagging along. Oof. Thanks, Auntie Sunita. I've fought tooth and nail to grow out of that. College was my turning point. I met people who saw me for me, my humor, my kindness, my charisma. I've worked through years of self-doubt and finally reached a place where I don't just tolerate myself, I like myself. But then wedding planning began, and those old feelings came rushing back like bad 90s fashion. Earlier this year, my brother got married. My mom wore this shimmering regal lehenga and walked into the wedding like it was her big day. My sister-in-law, bless her Zen soul, wasn't fazed. But I was watching from the sidelines thinking, please, not again. So here I am, tempted to have the conversation. I want to gently ask her to tone it down for my wedding, not to wear something dull or unflattering. Just maybe don't show up looking like a goddess who just descended from Mount Kailash. I want to be the one people look at, just this once, without adding a mental footnote of, but did you see her mom? But I haven't said anything yet. I'm scared that it'll come off as petty or insecure, or worse, hurtful. And I know that she doesn't mean to steal the spotlight. It just kind of follows her around like a backup dancer. So, am I the a-hole for wanting my mom to dress appropriately and not look like the main character at my wedding? Or am I just protecting my childhood trauma onto a lehenga? And there is an update. I went ahead and brought this up with my family, starting with my brother, 28 male. I thought he'd be the one person who'd get where I was coming from. He's older. He's the favorite. Don't know if my mom would agree, but it feels that way sometimes. And he's always been super protective of her. So I thought, okay, let me try talking to him first and maybe he can help me navigate this. At first, everything was going well. We were chatting about how we could approach our mom without making it feel like a huge deal. I even had my fiance, 26 male, with me, thinking that he'd be the calm voice of reason. But that didn't exactly go as planned. My fiance, who I've been with for 4 years, by the way, suddenly turned to me and said, "Why are you making such a big deal out of this? It's not even that important." I was totally taken aback. He knows exactly what I've been through growing up with my mom, always being the center of attention. And to hear him dismiss something that's clearly important to me, it was like a slap in the face. So I tried to explain that it's not about being petty or insecure. This wedding is supposed to be about us. It's supposed to be my day where I feel like the center of attention just for once. And what does he say? "You'll never be the center of attention in front of your mother. Just stop this nonsense and let's get the wedding over with." I was floored. I have never heard him talk to me like that. It was completely out of the blue, and honestly, it broke my heart. I could feel myself about to cry, which for me is rare. And that just made my brother snap. He was really mad, trying his best to stay calm, but clearly upset, and told my fiance, "This is the person you've been with for 4 years. You know her. If she's telling you this is bothering her as a partner, you should listen." But my fiance didn't get it. He just doubled down, saying that I needed to get over my petty insecurities and grow up. That hit me like a ton of bricks. And in that moment, I just said I couldn't. I stood up, looked at him, and said, "If that's how you feel, then maybe we shouldn't get married at all." And I left. My brother followed me, trying to comfort me, but it's been 2 days since then, and I haven't spoken to my fiance. He's been reaching out, trying to connect, but right now, I'm not sure I even want to talk to him. My brother has spoken to my parents, who know something went down, but they're not sure what exactly. To be honest, I'm really struggling with whether or not I even want to marry this person anymore. It's like I don't even recognize him. I've been thinking a lot about this relationship, and I don't know if I'm in love with him anymore, or if I even know him anymore. I just want to clarify that he's never been weird around my mom. He genuinely thinks of her as his own mother. His mom passed away when he was young, and over the past few years, my mom has been incredibly kind and nurturing towards him, which he truly appreciates. Coming from an Indian family, I've never introduced any of my previous partners to my family before my fiancé. It's a big step for many of us. That being said, his recent response was utterly disgusting and completely unexpected. This kind of behavior is not typical of him. He has never disregarded my feelings before. In fact, he's always been the one to validate them and stand by me. But we do have an update. Oh my goodness.
I think it's super fair for you want to at least call off, delay it. If you, have a conversation.
Yeah.
See why he's saying all that, but be like, hey,
yeah.
we've had, why this affected me.
Right.
Trying to make it not a big deal. And if you can't support me, I don't know if you're not looking forward to the wedding, I don't know if this is going to work.
Like, you're the one person, if no one else, that should support me and understand my insecurities and try to build me up instead of just telling me to get over it.
Exactly.
Like, do you even want a wedding if you just want to get it over with?
Yeah.
Something you're not looking forward to? Like, what?
Ridiculous.
So we do have another update. Let's start with my mom. After everything blew up with my fiance, I decided to finally have that conversation with her and my dad. It was scary because how do you tell your own mother, someone you love deeply, admire, and who's never intentionally hurt you, that her presence has sometimes made you feel invisible? At first, she laughed it off. She thought I was being dramatic and overly emotional because of wedding stress. But I didn't back down. I walked her through what it felt like growing up in her shadow. The comments, the comparisons, the way I would shrink into the background even when I desperately wanted to be seen. It wasn't an easy talk. There were tears. There was silence. But slowly, she began to really hear me. And then my dad chimed in, and that changed everything. He told her he'd seen me struggle for years. Oh, wow. That while she is the center of his world, he always noticed how hard it was for me to stand out in a room that she walked into. He admitted that he never truly sat her down to talk about it before, but now, seeing how deeply it affected me, he wished he had. I've never felt more seen by both of them. Since then, my mom has been trying, genuinely trying. She's been asking me about what I want to wear, what kind of tone I want for the wedding, how I want to feel that day. She even said that she won't make any grand entrances and has asked me what she should wear to make sure that it complements, not competes. She's stepping back, not because she's being forced to, but because she finally understands. And that means everything. Now about my ex-fiance. After the incident where he completely dismissed my feelings, I took time to process everything. And then I told my parents what happened. My dad was livid and disappointed in a way that I've never seen before. He sat my fiance down and said, and I quote, "She's been in the background all her life and wants to be in the spotlight once. You not supporting that shows that you want her to stay in the background forever. I'd rather have my daughter unmarried and glowing than have her be married and doled down for the rest of her life."
Ooh, good dad.
Nice.
Good dad.
That's like such a great way to explain it,
Yeah.
too. So the shocker? His father agreed with mine. Wow. He told me privately that he was proud of me for standing up for myself.
Yay.
He said that he wished his son had handled things differently and that he supports whatever decision I make. So I made it. I'm calling off the wedding.
Yay.
It's bittersweet if I'm honest. I loved him, I still do, but I don't respect or trust him anymore. I thought he was my person, but if someone can look at you during one of the most emotionally vulnerable times of your life and say, just get over it, then maybe they never saw you to begin with. This wasn't just one fight or a bad day. It was the moment that I realized that my feelings could be tossed aside like they were inconvenient. And I'm not someone who puts herself second, not for anyone. I never have been. And by the way, I hope you put us first and listen to full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime.
I don't want to be second.
I don't want to be second. I know you want to put yourself first or whatever, but maybe you should
put yourself second.
Maybe you should for us.
Be humble.
But there is a little bit more to the story. Yeah, I think that's amazing.
I'm so glad that your dad was on your side and your parents were so receptive to all of this.
And that your fiance's dad was on your side too.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that your fiance sucks, but
right. Of course.
But I'm glad that you stood up for yourself before you got married to him.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a little bit more. So yes, I love deeply. I love myself enough to walk away. And for those wondering, my mom hasn't made any loud declarations about my decision or the canceled wedding. She's actually been very quiet and respectful. I think part of her is still processing everything, but she's handling it well, and I wasn't expecting that. Small steps, but important ones. So that's where we are. The bride is single. The lehengnas were packed. The mandap is canceled. And the only spotlight I care about now is the one I'm standing confidently in on my own. No wedding, no groom. But hey, at least no one will outshine me now.
So true.
There you go.
There
Again.
you go. Positives, upsides.
Right. And now, besides the wedding stuff, like you've had that conversation with your mom.
Now
and
you
your
don't have to have
parents.
that again.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully this won't be the only day that you'll feel in the spotlight, and you'll
agree.
Be empowered and
Hopefully
focused on in the future.
A helpful conversation for the future. In all areas of life.
Absolutely. But that's the end of that story.
My estranged sister said I robbed her by not telling her about my daughter's condition.
I don't think I owe you that.
My oldest sister, 36, and I, 39, have always been total opposites. I was the weird introvert who worked 2 jobs all through high school and got out of town as soon as I could. My sister was homecoming queen who married her high school sweetheart and still lives in his grandparents' house. About 13 years ago, my sister and I had a big fight that ended with her telling me to never call her again. By the way, this comes from another Southern mom on the r/charlottedobreyoutube YouTube subreddit, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Angie.
And OP says, in those 13 years, I have gone either low contact or no contact with most of the rest of my family. My sister, from what I've learned in the last week, has gone no contact with our entire family except for one cousin. Here's the issue. Earlier this year, my oldest, 14 female, was diagnosed with a life-changing, not life-risky, condition that is genetic. Her doctor advised that I should tell my siblings and any first cousins. I told my younger siblings straight off. One is set against kids, and this has just reinforced it, and was able to get in touch with all of my cousins by the end of March. I tried to reach her a couple of different ways, but no dice. So I shrugged and moved on. Last month, my daughter's godmother started a GoFundMe to help pay for a summer camp for kids with her condition. She was able to go and have a great time, and someone from my hometown shared it on one of their local Facebook pages with a description of her condition, including the fact that it can be hereditary. My sister lost her crap. She started blasting me on Facebook and Insta and telling everyone in her hometown that I didn't even reach out to her to let her know that it was a possibility for concern. Not gonna lie, I really don't care what a bunch of small town hicks think of me, but am I the a-hole? Comment 1 says, not the a-hole. You haven't talked to her in years and you already informed a bunch of people this woman is trying to start something. Why now? I don't know. OP says, because she thrives on drama and I don't give it to her. Honestly, I don't really care, but I'm being told I have to. Comment 2 says, you told multiple family members, but none of them telling her means nobody in your family cares for her because she sucks. Not the a-hole. Update. Now, most of what I know is coming secondhand because obviously I've got enough on my plate to worry about without adding this Delulu lemonade on top. This morning I got a call from our youngest sister, 21. She and I have a standing once-a-month phone call. I see how she's doing in school. First person in our family to get a bachelor's degree. Super proud of her. Hi, Nugget. Hi, Nugget. And she asks about the kids. Then she asks the weird question. Have I talked to mom recently? Here's why it's weird. My youngest sister is my half-sister, so she doesn't talk to my mom all that much. But she is a member of our hometown Facebook page. Apparently, my mom put my sister on blast all over the town's page. According to YS, my mom posted about the fact that not only had she informed my sister of my daughter's condition, so this sister was told. The sister was freaking told.
Oh my gosh.
But the two of them had a long, drawn-out discussion about what it would mean for her kids and their kids. There was a lot more to the post, but it's got nothing to do with this story. Now, I did not know that my mom and older sister talked. The last I knew, older sister had gone no contact with everyone except one cousin who didn't grow up in our town and currently lives overseas. My sister and I talked for a little while longer, and I went about my day. Here's where it gets interesting.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
My mom's Facebook post was made last night, either just before or just after I posted the original story here on Reddit. At some point during the night, the two of them got into a war on the town Facebook page. Mind you, this is a page that gets maybe 15 posts a week, mainly the weekly farmers market and spottings of the black bear that wanders through town. And then my daughter's godmother got involved, and by got involved, I mean I got a text 2 hours ago that says, "I got you, witch," that I just saw 20 minutes ago. Please don't ask me how a woman who's never been south of the Mason-Dixon found her way onto a Facebook page for a very small southern town, because I got no clue. She's originally from Detroit, and she came with receipts. The first thing my girlfriend did was thank everyone for their very generous donations. She also was able to inform them that since there was such an amazing outpouring of contributions, the camp was able to offer 2 other children financial support. I did not know this because she dealt with everything. I just signed the paper. She then went on to say how sad she was that such a fantastic show of support for a 14-year-old who had such a drastic change in lifestyle was so tainted by the resentment of those not as fortunate to have such a brilliant child in their life. She finished it off by saying how fortunate she was to have such an amazing and talented niece, and posted a picture of the two of them at the camp drop-off. So as it turns out, I don't have to get involved. I really don't care if something else happens, but if it does, I'll let you know. And there are some comments here. Yeah, I guess everyone's standing up for you, so it's all right.
That's great. Things are being taken care of, socially at least.
Yeah, that's all you need. You're off the hook.
You're good.
Let everyone else handle it, and you just sit back. Comment 1 says, weird variant here. I am the one with a hereditary condition that won't unalive me, but certainly makes life harder. Only one other family member has taken the information with more than a grain of salt. Awkwardly, that family member has a cousin whose dog has the same condition. The dog gets way more support.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, a dog none of my immediate family have ever met because it lives in California. I get that the dog is probably way cuter, but I'm probably never gonna not be salty about it. You did what you could and needed to do. It's not your fault if they were both unreceptive and deceptive about the information. Update 2. Before the update, I just wanted to let everyone know that my daughter got back from camp a few days ago. She had an amazing time, made some great friends all over the country, and a couple from our beloved Queens neck of the woods, and learned some great tips and tricks to deal with her condition. Overall, it was an amazing experience for her, and we look forward to her being able to go next year. Now, cups of loaves, I'll pour the tea. So RODB made friends with some of the grannies in my hometown, like full-on trading recipes and crochet projects, fully integrated herself into the friend group. She even attended church via Zoom last weekend. She called me asking what to Uber Eats deliver food to the after-church potluck and if I knew any of the hymns. Mind you, she's Jewish, and this is a Baptist church that I haven't been to in years. At this point, I think she's the most popular person in a town she's never been to. It's awesome. She's also still a member of the town Facebook page. However, she hasn't posted anything since her big "thank you so much for the sport" post. But guess who did? That's right, my sister. Last week, she posted something passive-aggressive about family betrayal and sharing valuable health information that could affect her children. And I guess I'm not the only person she's been crap-talking. Side note, did you know that the account holder of a cell phone can go onto their portal and pull up a log of calls going back as far as 5 years, including blocked numbers? I didn't, but my soon-to-be ex-brother-in-law did. By the way, you should know that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left. Apparently, one of my daughter's godmother's new knitting circle friends is my brother-in-law's aunt, and according to her, the divorce is nasty. And I guess yesterday he posted everything that the judge won't let him use in the divorce proceedings, including, but not limited to, screenshots of my sister's phone logs without actual phone numbers, and my sister's OF page. I really don't want to know about this one, but I have to suffer, so do you. Text between her and another guy, and some text messages between brother-in-law and the guy that I guess my sister was cheating on him with.
Oh my gosh.
At this point, I think my sister is going to dig her way to China, but I've decided I really don't want to know anymore. I did reach out to my brother-in-law with family medical history, and he and I will stay cordial just in case. So yeah, that's it. I don't think there will be any more in this saga, but as always, we'll see. And that is the end of that story, folks.
That's apparently all we have in this saga.
Dang, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Your sister's a mess, but it seems like
Yeah.
you got a lot of people on your side. So
Yeah.
that's all that
Apparently.
matters.
My goodness.